appreciate all of you. I think I'll share a story about a panhandler encounter that my son and I had a few years ago. So in the Jewish tradition, it's a requirement to give money if somebody asks you for money. And if you don't have money, then you need to offer a blessing, and you're supposed to offer a blessing either way. And the act's not complete if you just hand somebody money, but you need to actually say, God bless you, or wish them well. And that's a teaching I've shared with my children. And this is a few years ago, so Ethan's 13, he was maybe 9 at the time. And we were at the corner, Northtown, right where the bridge is, and you're going to go on the freeway or go to the university or whatever church you're going to make. And there was a man there with a sign, it's a stop sign in the middle. And I had never seen him before, and neither had Ethan. And he, just looked really sad. And he just said, anything you can do. And I always have a little bit of money in my car. And so I gave him like $2, which is what I had. And after we drove by, Ethan said, Mommy, I don't think that was enough money to give that person. And I said, well, how much money do you think we should be giving people? I said, because there's several people asking for money, and I have a limited amount we can give. And he said, well, at least $6. And so I said, well, let's see what we have. And we had $6. I looked back in my purse. And so we turned back around, and we came back around and stopped the car, and the man was still there. And I said, my son felt like he needed a little more than $2. And so this is really coming from him. And he just burst into tears and started crying, and I offered him a blessing. And that moment cannot be repeated any other way than in the act of giving charity. And when you remove that from your streets by law, you're impacting more than just our civic reality. You're impacting so many things, because the act of loving kindness, I think, supersedes just about everything. And to remove that and make it illegal for somebody to ask for help is really problematic on so many levels. I know that you don't mean to do anything cruel or unkind. This ordinance falls into that for me. It's a violation of my spiritual teachings, my morals, and my child's right to learn from compassion and understanding. I urge you to not approve this item.
Heart of the city needs to change. This big city prison mentality, code of silence, needs to end. We had a city manager at one time, we had town hall meetings, people would come out. The city department heads would sit there, anybody could come up, ask questions, there were conversations. This was at the D Street Community Center. It runs the extremes. I made 3 demands for the theft and destruction of my property by the police department. Members of the city council are in closed meeting. All 3 were turned down. I'm not going to sue the city. I've laid it before the one who has the ultimate say, and 3 people are dead who were involved in that. One was a retired sergeant. There's a couple people sitting here who was aware of this at the time. But the affront, you had one Stanford graduate, that's where my daughter was born. I was a UC Berkeley graduate. That's how I became an Air Force officer. That's how I went to England. And these are constitutional issues. They run to attorneys who will sue the city. The county's been sued over similar things and lost. Lots of money involved. Same thing's going to happen. It's inevitable. But there ought to be a way to address it. And I'm just going to say it openly because I don't see any other ministers here. The churches have failed. The churches have failed, or they would be out there doing what they were told to do, and that is not indirectly supporting the service center. Okay? It is not the civic responsibility of the city to assume the spiritual responsibility of the faith community, but it falls on the civic time and time again, falls on private nonprofit groups. There are atheists in the city carrying the weight of the responsibility to the poor. They do it on a voluntary basis. There's retired people, they have assets, they could do a lot of other things. But there's no doubt about it legally. The city will be sued, go to referendum, and any council member that votes for it, forget the police talk and the code of silence. It's going to cause problems. financial and otherwise. There's other ways to address it, and we'll see in time. And we have a new website on NEMA.com, Spaceport Arcata, California. Kind of sums up this